Good evening and welcome to the State of Business. I'm Nishani Pigera. Let's first take a look at tonight's top stories. Prime Minister invites Sri Lankan asylum seekers in Australia to return home. And Sri Lanka to raise $1.5 billion in sovereign bond issue. In tonight's main story, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe today urged the Sri Lankan asylum seekers being held at Australian refugee detention centres to return home. He said this addressing the media in Australia today. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe held discussions with his Australian counterpart Malcolm Turnbull in Canberra. They underlined opportunities to expand two-way trade and investment, particularly in agribusiness, mining, skills, tourism and energy. The Prime Ministers also underlined the importance of continuing to counter the illegal people smuggling trade, which puts vulnerable people's lives at risk and enriches criminal networks. They emphasized their commitment to detect and deter people smuggling ventures and to strengthen the close working relationship between agencies.
Sri Lanka has ended the war. Together with President Sirisena and his party, we have formed a national government for healing, for reconciliation, for further deepening and strengthening the democratic structures. Because now Sri Lanka has to look to the future. And when we look to the future, we have no better friend than Australia. They left Sri Lanka illegally. They are welcome to return to Sri Lanka, and we won't prosecute them. So they can come back to Sri Lanka, and we will help them. But remember, they broke the law to come into Australia, or attempting to come to Australia. Come back. All is forgiven.
Safe to do so, though, sir.
It's quite safe in Sri Lanka. We just started the missing persons office. It's quite safe to come back, and some of them have gone from areas in which the conflict never took place. All of them are not even Tamils. And even the TNA wants all the Tamils to come back. We should not make a mess of ourselves like they've gone and done in Europe with the Middle Eastern guys.
Australia and Sri Lanka today signed a new development cooperation partnership agreement. The MOU was signed by Australia's High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Bryce Hutchison, and Sri Lanka's Secretary to the Ministry of Finance, Dr. R.H.S. Samaratunga. Since 1951, Australia has provided an estimated 1.35 billion Australian dollars in assistance to Sri Lanka, with nearly half of this provided in the past 20 years. The new partnership sets a new direction. As Sri Lanka's economy grows, Australia will support the government's reform agenda, including ensuring that economic growth is inclusive. The private sector is a driver of growth and incomes and jobs, and so in 2017, Australia will be launching 3 new programs: Skills for Growth, Market Development Facility, and Women in Work, focusing on inclusive growth. In more news tonight, Sri Lanka will issue international sovereign bond soon to raise $1.5 billion from the international market. The Cabinet has approved the proposal. According to the Appropriation Bill 2017, the balance outstanding of government's maximum borrowings for the financial year 2017 is 1,579.11 billion rupees. It has been estimated that 1,480 billion rupees is required for payment of loan installments and interest in 2017. Meanwhile, the Cabinet has granted approval for a proposal to initiate a public-private partnership for a sugar development project in Bibila, Monaragala. The total foreign investment for this project is $152.5 million. It expects to produce 80,000 metric tons of sugar annually and will create 1,000 direct employment opportunities and about 75,000 indirect employment opportunities. It has also been planned to produce animal food and organic fertilizer as byproducts and to implement a sub-project for generating 20 megawatts of electricity. The Finance Ministry says the upper limit for senior citizens to be eligible to get 15% interest rate for their fixed deposits will be increased to 1.5 million rupees from the 1st of March. The government introduced this deposit scheme in 2015 and the upper deposit limit was kept at 1 million rupees. The present government, under its 100-day program, for the first time introduced this special 15% interest rate scheme for senior citizens' fixed deposits. The government pays the difference between the 15% and the market interest rate offered by the commercial banks. The Finance Ministry said that the Treasury has spent 13 billion rupees for this purpose in 2016. As a result of this offer to senior citizens, the number of fixed deposits by senior citizens rose to 450,000 in 2016 from 91,000 in 2015. State of Business will return with more news after this short break. Do stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching The State of Business. President Maithripala Sirisena says scholars and intellectuals should come forward to provide a better service to the country and the people by recognizing social issues. The President was speaking at the ceremony to mark the 75th anniversary of Kegalle Vidyalaya today.
ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන් වාණිජ්‍ය සමාජයක මුදල් මුල් කරගත් ධනය මුල් කරගත් මුදලින් සියලු දේවල් සියලු ගැටලු සහ ප්‍රශ්න විසඳිය හැකි කියා බොහෝ අය විශ්වාස කරන සමාජයක ඒ විභාග තරණකාරීත්වයේ එක්කම සමාජ තරණකාරීත්වයේ වඩා වැදගත්කම අවශ්‍ය වන්නේ යහපත් සමාජ පුරවැසියන් පිරිසක් බිහි කරන්නටයි. ඒ නිසා උගතුන් සමාජයේ ඉදිරියට එන්නට ඕනේ. උගතුන් හඬ නගන්නට ඕනේ. උගතුන් නායකත්වයේ ගන්න ඕනේ. උගතුන් සහ බුද්ධිමතුන් සමාජ තරණකාරීත්වයේ සිය ප්‍රමුඛ කාර්යභාරය සහ වගකීම උසුලන්නට ඕනේ.
All Ceylon Peasants Federation accuses that the Agriculture Ministry is spending around 23 million rupees monthly for an empty building in Rajagiriya. They staged a protest in front of that building this morning. The Govijana Mandira at Battaramulla, which houses the Agriculture Ministry at present, is due to be taken over for the use of Parliament. The Agriculture Ministry obtained this premises for rent in April last year. However, it had remained idle since then.
කෘෂිකාර මමාත්‍යන්තේ පවත්වගෙන නැතන මේ වෙනකම් පවත්වගෙන ගියා නම් ඇයි එතන තවදුරටත් පවත්වගෙන යන්න බැරි මේ ආණ්ඩුවට තව අවුරුදු කීයද තියෙන්නේ ඊළඟ කෘෂිකාර මමාත්‍යන්තේ අයිති ඉඩම් තියෙනවා ඒ වගේම රජයේ වෙනත් ගොඩනැගිලි තියෙනවා එහෙම තියද්දී මේ කෝටි ගණන් ගෙවලා මේ ගොඩනැගිල්ල පවත්වගෙන යන්නේ ඇයි අපි ආණ්ඩුවෙන් අහන්නේ ඒක ගෝබියගේ අවුරුදු 40කට පස්සේ මහ කන්න ගැස්සුණා රුපියල් 50000 ගානේ වන්දි ගෙව්වොත් ගෝබි ජනතාව 41713 දෙනෙකුට වන්දි ගෙවන්න පුළුවන් මුදලක් තමයි මේ හිස් ගොඩනැගිල්ලට මේ ආණ්ඩුව කාබාසිනියා කරලා දාන්නේ.
Stay tuned for the Stock Watch after this break. Welcome back to the show. Trading at the Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today. Price gains were witnessed in counters such as Ceylon Tobacco Company, Selingco Insurance and Carson's Cumberbatch. The all-share price index gained 26.56 points to close at 6,175.5, and the S&P SL20 index gained by 12.98 points to close the session at 3,545.91. Turnover was 876 million rupees and 14 million shares were traded. Crossings were witnessed in Tokyo Cement Company and John Kills Holdings. Mixed interest was observed in Axis Engineering. Meanwhile, foreigners remained active, closing as net buyers. Up next are the day's forex rates. And with that, we wind up for tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow at the same time. Until then, thank you for watching. Have a good night.